All right, in this video I'm going to walk you through how you might use the MDBootstrap library to create some charts. So we've got our document downloaded from chart.html, and then we've gone and the other video. Oops. In the other video, we walked through creating a table, and so if we run this in Chrome, we've got a nice little table here, a very simple table, and we're going to put our chart down here below it. Now in our document, one thing that I've already added is I've already added the JScript, the jQuery library at the very top here, and then commented out. That's what all of these little symbols are about is commenting out this code. I've commented out all of these potential libraries that you might use for your different part or project. Now in this one, we're not going to use the HiCharts or chart.js, so I'm just going to delete those. We will be using MDBootstrap, and so this top one is just a little label here. We'll leave that commented. But we want to uncomment this script tag right here with the library that's needed for MDBootstrap. Now for Google Charts and rgraph, we don't actually need those for this example, and so we're just going to delete those. We also have another tag where we may add our modified JavaScript here. So if we go over to our MDBootstrap, we've got some charts that are available here to us. And I'm just going to go through and I want to create a bar chart in this example. I think they're fairly easy and they fit the data that I'm looking at right here. So if we go down to bar chart, there's some, here's an example bar chart and some example code. Okay, so one thing we want to do is we'll want to set up the bar chart. So we'll put that right here. And then we also want to copy this data that's in here. All right, I was jumping ahead of myself. So we go back up to the usage for standard charts here. It kind of walks you through the basics here. So first we have to actually put a canvas element in there. So let's put a canvas copy. We'll copy and paste this canvas element. We'll go down and we'll put this canvas element below the table that we created. So we'll put a paragraph tag here. And we'll add this canvas element called myChart that we'll be able to use with our JavaScript. Now up at the top, the next thing we want to do is we want to go and get the context here. So I'm going to add this nice little function in here in order to get the context, and actually this kind of builds on it. We want to make this a responsive chart, which will be really nice. We'll add this responsive variable so that it can adjust the chart as we get smaller and bigger. And then here's the information that gets added in here for this data set. So I'm going to actually, we don't need all that global stuff. So I'm going to actually copy this code right here. And that's what I'm going to copy into my script tag. All right, so let's save that and see if it will work. All right, there we go. So now we have a nice little line chart here. We'll switch that back because I don't want a line chart. I want this to be a bar chart. So we'll go back to our examples now for bar chart, and we'll make our adjustments. So instead of calling this my line chart, we'll just call this my bar chart. That one doesn't matter actually as much. And then we'll change this to the new chart, and we'll call this bar. And then we've got to make sure that we've got everything set up correctly. In fact, I think we've now switched over to a bar chart. Let's switch and check. All right, perfect. So we've already got the bar chart getting going. And so now what we'll do is we're just going to modify our data here. Make this a little bit narrower so we can see what's going on. We're just going to go through and modify the data. So we've got our labels here. I'm going to add in the different types of root beer. And then we have already set up two different rows of data sets. So you can see that we've got, for example, we have two different values here. I think this was weather, and there's high and a low temperature. I'm going to go and let's use the minimum and the maximum values for each of the different root beers. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to add in the different root beer names here for the labels. And for the data, I'm going to add in the maximum, or the minimum and the maximum for each root beer. So I'll pause it and add. All right, so I've added those in. So I'm going to save my chart now. I've got my root beer names here. I've got the the minimum values here, the maximum values here. And then let's go and refresh this over here and see what we've got. There we go. So that looks pretty nice. Now these colors, these are a little washed out in terms of colors. And so maybe we want to use a little bit brighter of a color. So we can look for some some nicer, little darker colors here. So perhaps for the fill and the stroke color here and the point color, maybe we'll go with something that is, for the low one, maybe we'll go with something a little more red. So let's do, switch this over, just switch these values to be quite a bit more red. If we save that and run at that, now those ones are quite a bit red. And then maybe we'll make these ones quite green. And again, you can use a color picker in order to find the exact shades that you want. I'm just doing this very quickly. And we can go and see, there we go. So there's the nice different colors. And we can make all sorts of other adjustments in the documentation for these charts. There's some additional information about other adjustments that we can make. But this is, I think, a pretty nice little chart. Maybe we'll want to add in a title here. I don't think there's an ability to manually add in a title to the chart. So maybe above this chart in our paragraph tag, we'll put and then we'll go and see what that looks like. And we could add some additional information there. That's basically how we use the MDBootstrap library. It's not too bad.